Well, today we're doing a quick unboxing video on this Ghost Drive from Stewart MacDonald. Stay tuned. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy building things with my own hands. And this Ghost Drive pedal kit from Stewart MacDonald is something that I've been itching to build for a while now. There's been a lot of hoopla lately about this circuit, the circuit that this pedal is actually modeled after. Another company, I won't name names, also offered a DIY kit similar to this and sold like hotcakes. That one was much more expensive, and I'm not sure if it's actually any better. So I'm going to be looking at this one today because I think Stewart MacDonald makes some really great DIY kits. I'm speaking from experience because I recently built my own Princeton Reverb combo amp, also from a StewMac kit. You can watch that video if you're interested in. I have a whole series based on that. And I thought I'd start another sideline project as if I don't have enough things going on at the same time. But I really do enjoy building things, and I really get a lot of pleasure out of building these kits because it's kind of like building a model. If you're good at following instructions, you can get it done. You don't have to be an electronics wizard. Trust me, I'm far from being an electronics wizard, but I can follow instructions. I've built a couple of other kits from other companies that were pedal kits as well, but I'm pretty confident that the StewMac version is going to be even easier because the quality that they put in terms of the documentation that they give you is top notch. I've never had any issues following the instructions. Trust me, if I can put together an entire amp, which I've never done before, through following instructions, I can pretty confidently say that I can build this pedal kit. Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what the kit is modeled after. Well, the original Unobtainium Overdrive Rare pedal is what's written on the box. I'm not going to name names, but I think you guys can figure it out. Klon. Oh, sorry, I have a little bit of a scratchy, tickly throat. So if you're into that kind of pedal sound, that kind of circuit, this one should scratch the itch for a lot less than you would probably spend on the original circuits that are really hard to find nowadays. So let's not waste any more time. Let's unbox this and see what you get in the box. All right, let's do it. Let's unbox it and see what we get inside. I can't wait. This is a little decal that you can use to actually stick on the cover of the enclosure once you're done to indicate gain, treble, output, give the front of the enclosure something to look at a little bit nicer in terms of detail, so you don't have to use a Sharpie or something like that to try and make it look like a finished product. It looks great right out of the box with what's included right here. So this here is where the meat and potatoes are in this entire kit. Now, StewMac does put excellent work into their documentation. I never worry about, suggesting somebody use a StewMac kit because I know that they're not going to have any issues. Now, if I open up this, you'll see exactly what I mean. Look at this. This is not just a photocopy, black and white, folks. This is a booklet, a nice thick booklet that is very well done. They didn't, skimp on any details. Full color. Well written out, very clear, easy to understand. All of the components that you need are listed right here, also in color. So you have a parts list, then you have painting instructions if you want to paint it on your own. You don't have to just keep it white. You can do whatever you want with it. Understanding the components, there's a really cool scale here that basically instructs you on how to know what you're looking at in terms of the components. So if you're not an electronics whiz, it's kind of like a crash course, but it's very easy to understand, and I love the way the documentation is put together here. So you're not going to have any issues. You're going to see clearly where all the components need to go. Everything's well indicated, and you shouldn't have any issues. Just take your time. That's all you really need to do. Take your time. So the other parts of the kit in here are obviously the actual enclosure that you get right over here. And you can see that The enclosure is white, so it's not necessarily painted. You can make this anything you wish. If you want to keep it white, you can do that. If you want to paint it another color, you can do that. But within here, we have all of the components that are what you're going to need to put the kit together, and everything is in these firmly sealed Ziploc bags, so nothing gets lost along the way. And you can see here we do have a series of components and chips, and we have other ones here, bigger ones, and they're all in individual bags. So again, I think they're grouped by section within the instructions. So you can see that, you know, this one here has a bunch of these that look like capacitors. Again, I'm not an electronics whiz, so if I get the terminology wrong, please forgive me. I think these are resistors and so on and so forth. We have pads here to put the chips on the board. Everything is very, very nicely segregated here. And here are the actual chips. I'm not going to take them out of the bag because these bags, I can tell just by looking at them, are static resistant, I guess, anti-static bags, so that you don't risk blowing these up if you're, you know, if you got a little bit of static after you're walking on the carpet or something and you just touch it and it zaps the component. You don't want that to happen. So I'm happy that they're actually putting these things in anti-static bags like that. So here is basically all of the components that you're going to be using to put this thing together. But beyond that, you also have, these are the screws that you're going to be using to, you know, firmly close up the chassis once you're done. And in here, I'll even open this up so you can get a better view so that we're not just looking at bags here. But this is the circuit board. So in case you want to see the quality of the circuit board here, I'll actually pull this out so you can see. So again, it's not cheaply made. You can see here Ghost Drive, StewMac logo, all of the things in this circuit board seems to be really well made. Nice quality, thick board, by the way. Nothing cheap about this board as far as I can tell. Double-sided so that you can firmly solder everything in place without necessarily worry too much about burning through the pads. You can do a good job of putting this together and end up with something that is gonna last you a long, long time. Now beyond that, we have an additional bag here of additional accessories. So here we have the inputs and the outputs. I can see, let me just tear open this bag really quickly. So we have here, you know, the battery plug, which you can use if you're not using a power supply. We have the actual pots here. This is I believe this is a 10K pot that you're going to be using. Nice firm taper there. Doesn't seem cheap at all. Here are the knobs that are going to end up being placed on the pots. So you're going to need those. Of course, you're going to have the power input. You need that when you're going to be using your pedal on a pedal board and don't necessarily want to use a battery. So you're going to use a power supply, some pads here, as well as the switch. I like to look at the switch and see how solid it is. This one seems well made, very solid indeed. So you shouldn't have any issues, and you should have plenty of on-off cycles with that switch as far as I can tell. Seems very well made. Here's another pot, and it also comes with some wire here, additional wire, the output jacks here, or input jacks, however you like to call them. And what else? And of course, yeah, the LED light. It always looks nicer when it's lit up, so you have a nice LED light protector there, and I believe the LED light is probably in one of the other bags. So you have everything you need to get this kit started, get this thing made, and have a great sounding pedal that you actually can be proud of at the end of the day because you put in your heart and soul in building it. Well, after taking a look, I'm even more excited to get this project started. I'm going to jump right into building this thing. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't think it'll take as long as my Princeton Reverb, that's for sure. And once it's done, I'm going to be exploring the sounds that you can get out of this pedal right here on the channel with you guys. And we're going to see just how close it gets to being, you know, in the ballpark of what they claim it is, the Klon. So if you guys already built this kit, I definitely would love to hear from you. Let me know what your experience was like. Was it easy? Was it difficult? How did it sound at the end of it? Is it a pedal that you're happy to have on your board? Is it something that you just tried and, you know, chucked away, or did you actually enjoy it? Maybe you're using it all the time. The really cool thing about building these kits from scratch, folks, is that you can actually customize them if you have the knowledge and the inclination to do so. Now, I don't have that kind of knowledge. I can't go beyond following the basic instructions, but some of you out there probably can. Maybe you want to give it a little bit more gain. Maybe you want to give it a little bit more of a fuller boost. Maybe you want to put a little toggle switch in the circuit that can do something extra. These are all options you have at your fingertips if that's what you want to do. Now, I really can't do that, but I'll probably modify it in my own way. Maybe give it a paint job or something to make it stand out and make it my own. That's really the cool factor when it comes to building your own stuff. You can really tweak it and make it your own. So I'm going to get started. I want to hear from you if you've already built one of these things, and stay tuned to the channel as I post the follow-up videos in the progress of this build. I'm sure we'll end up with something very interesting at the end of it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Addicted to Gear. If you like these kind of reviews and you get excited and all giggly when it comes to building your own stuff, then this is the channel for you. Please consider subscribing. We'll be back with more. See you soon, guys.